Thank you, Brian. The city of East Peoria could be the newest owner of a plot of farmland, believing it's a prime site for future development. But it won't be a data center or solar project, according to Mayor John Call. The city council is being asked to approve the purchase of just over 270 acres of farmland between U.S. Route 24 and Centennial Drive at East Peoria's northwestern boundary. The property was auctioned last month, with the city winning the bid at about $5.2 million. According to the council, the area is one of the few remaining available growth corridors, and that controlling the future development of the property would be in the city's best interest. The proposed land sale will be presented at tomorrow night's meeting, but a vote is not expected. When they were made aware that the developed property located between Route 24 and Centennial Drive was being auctioned off, they had concerns about how the land would be used.